Your calls are going live now. We're going to take a first call in about 30 seconds. But before that, a question. Nirmala Sitharaman had a question for Medha Patkar. By the way, Nirmala Sitharaman, you will not answer questions on Babubhai Bokaria. You will not answer questions on Purushottam Solanki. You will not answer questions about how you protected all these people, and you will criticize Congress for welcoming back Kalmadi and Bansal. You will not talk about how you opened up the red carpet for Yediyurappa. I just find it interesting. I'm sure you will. Your question to Medha Patkar will not address either Babubhai Bokaria, Yediyurappa or Purushottam Solanki. But anyway, since you want to pass the buck, here's your opportunity to do so.
When I want to give an answer, you don't allow me, or Congress interrupts me, and then you keep telling me that I'm
I just placed on record that you didn't answer the questions on these three people.
There you go. There you go again. Allow me to answer. I will answer each one of them, but only correctly. That when there are allegations being thrown at us, I need to answer them. Every time we have Ms. Patkar referring to Nitin Gadkari, I would like to ask Ms. Patkar, in Maharashtra, her home state, it is Congress and NCP, and in the centre it is a Congress government. Can she not ask them as to why after all this, till today there is not even one FIR filed against Nitin Gadkari? And when she is showing sympathy for Aam Aadmi Party, would she please ask about the illegal affairs of Somnath Bharti, the law minister, much before she talks on criminalization of politicians and politics, which is a right question to ask. But please ask the question about Somnath Bharti. Also ask about the Ford Foundation money, which comes for an NGO activity. Has it been moved over for a political party? Let us satisfy ourselves about all these questions. And again,
and in the meantime,
taking the name of Yediyurappa, equally, wait a minute, please don't. Then you tell me, then you charge me that I'm not answering.
No, I'm
equally, when you're taking the name of Yediyurappa, please tell us, are you aware that all the cases are being completely rejected by the court? Many of his cases are being thrown out
when you are incorrect on facts.
It was politically motivated.
You are incorrect on facts.
Yes?
No, you are incorrect. Don't present wrong facts to the people. Don't present wrong facts to the people.
It may be.
Don't.
I'm not Arnab, but if you allow me to say, matter of fact, 4 cases have been thrown out.
No, they have not been thrown out. The cases are pending in a CBI court.
There we go.
The cases are pending in a CBI court.
And you're not allowing me to do it.
You're saying there we go, but I'm pointing something factually correct to you. So there I go. The cases are pending in a CBI court. The agency which started investigations in the direction of the Supreme Court in May named Yediyurappa, his sons B.Y. Vijayendra, B.Y. Raghavendra, his son-in-law R.N. Sohan Kumar, and the family-run Prerna Educational and Social Trust. You know all these facts. You know that the agency has included provisions of the Karnataka Land Restriction on Transfer Act after the charge sheet was filed before a special CBI court in Bangalore. But when I tell you all these questions, then you say, there I go. My question to you is valid. Here is the same party. Here is the same BJP, which knows that on 28th April 2012, your former BJP president Bangaru Lakshman was awarded 4 years rigorous imprisonment by a Delhi court for taking a 1 lakh rupee bribe in a fictitious defense deal case. We thought you learnt your lesson, but you haven't learnt your lesson. Despite what happened with Bangaru Lakshman, you continue to back and take the political support of Yediyurappa because he is indispensable in Karnataka. Come on, Miss. How are you different, Ms. Sitharaman? When it comes to a leader with a so-called mass base, you're willing to compromise.
Just as you give me all the details about the sons and the daughters.
All of which are correct, by the way.
In all fairness, I would expect. Can I just let me complete, Arnab? Just as you go on with the paragraph as a question, I would like to give half a paragraph as answer. Please kindly extend that courtesy to me. When you're saying so many details to prove the fact that there are still cases pending against him, I would appreciate if you would only add on that when you were talking about 5 cases, 4 have been already thrown out of the court. That would be in fairness. I wish you amend that also.
I don't understand.
Or add that also
do you mean to
in
say,
the correction that you would offer.
Do you mean to say? By the way, I don't know. But by the way, this is a debate, so Congress is welcome to come into it at this point of time. I find it surprising that you are trying to make a case where there is an alleged 20 crore bribe being given to a person who stands next to your prime ministerial candidate, you think a charge of taking 20 crore bribe is nothing? Your party president has been given 4 years imprisonment for taking 1 lakh rupee bribe. A 20 crore bribe today is nothing for the BJP.
That the party president...
An alleged 20 crore bribe is nothing for the BJP.
But the fact remains. No, Arnab.
It is. It is for people.
Fact remains. Fact remains. Arnab, just hold on. You made your point. Let me answer. And giving me a chance to give my defense is only right.
Ma'am, the others also want to come in.
The former president that you're referring about, allow me to finish. I think you would have a courteous debate, won't you, or not?
No, but you have, the others want to counter you.
The former president whose reference you've taken was the former president. I mean, I don't know whether, the Congress and the anchor seem to want to drown my voice. Please don't do that. In all fairness, I would want to tell you and your viewers the fact from our side. If you're referring to the former president, Bangaru Lakshman, let me remind you that he was removed from the position. And therefore, there you cannot tell me we've not learned the lesson. Second, when you're talking about former President Nitin Gadkari, I asked Medha Patkar ji and I also asked the Congress spokesperson, after all these months, why is it that there is not even one case against him? So, BJP
Ms. Patkar is responding now to Nirmala Sitharaman. Ms. Patkar, go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Patkar. By the way, the Yediyurappa charge is related to the recovery of 890 crores loss caused to a state-run public exchequer unit, Mysore Minerals Limited. 890 crores lost to the exchequer, 20 crore bribe. These charges should be so serious, you should have nothing to do with the person till the charges are kept aside. That's all. And it's not an indirect charge, it's directly against the individual. Anyway, Medha Patkar's response, Ms. Patkar.
The direct charge against the Prime Minister on Colgate. Nobody seems to answer that. Rahul Gandhi is not asking that question to the Prime Minister. I'm sorry to say this.
Ms. Patkar.
I think Nirmala ji has vindicated my position. She has vindicated my position because the very fact that no FIR is filed against Nitin Gadkari is because, as the whole of Maharashtra at least knows, his close links with Sharad Pawar ji. And that also is enough to save Sharad Pawar ji and his family in the case of Lavasa. And as far as the court cases are concerned, they approach within the limitations of law. But these politicians approach with this sense of falsehood and file the affidavits, and there is all confusion. But the Santosh Hegde kind of Lokayukt's report on Yediyurappa is very, very clear and transparent, and there is no other proof but his own resignation and the BJP removing him.
See, this
Ashok Chavan being removed.
We started with the Congress. We moved to the BJP, and the first caller on the debate is Atak from Mumbai. Atak from Mumbai is the first caller. Atak, who's your question to Atak? Atak, who's your question to Atak? Atak from Mumbai, go ahead. Put your question forward.
Yeah. See, the question is to Aam Aadmi Party.
Aam Aadmi Party, okay.
Yeah, they claim, and I want them to succeed. But with all due respect, see, somebody raised the question of Somnath Bhati. Yes, they should answer. But see, Arnab, they are involving a very big corruption. Why? They are allowing the editors of news channels to be sitting in their core committee meeting. I'll give you two examples. Before Ashutosh resigned, he was caught sitting in their core committee meeting. Now, second editor, Mr.
No, but is that related to the issue of corruption, Mohammad Atak?
It is corruption. They are corrupting the media.
No. I think Atak, we are not getting we are on the issue of scams here being forgotten in the nomination of members of parliament. We'll come back to that, but I don't think yours is an issue of corruption. But anyway, Medha Patkar wants to reply, she can. Then we are coming back to another question.
Yeah.
Let me actually move to the next question. Ashutosh is calling from Mysore. Yes, Ashutosh.
Yeah, hi, good evening, Arnab. This is Ashutosh calling from Mysore.
Good evening.
My question is for Sanjay Jha.
Sanjay Jha.
Yeah, so my question is why had Rahul Gandhi not shown his willpower for the last 10 years regarding anti-corruption bills when we had 2G gate, rail gate, coal gate? Why this last hour rush for the legislation and ordinance? What about Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi not just speaking but also doing something regarding this corruption issue?
Absolutely. Ashutosh, what do you think about because our subject is on these tickets being given, what do you think is going to be the perception if Kalmadi gets a ticket?
he should not be given the ticket at all. He should be thrown out of politics.
Okay, let's see if that has the impact. Sanjay, please respond. We're going to, and make your response quickly. We'll take as many callers as possible next few minutes. Yes, Sanjay.
Yeah. I'll do that. For his information, Ashutosh, let me just confirm to you that Mr. Kalmadi is suspended from the Indian Congress Party as we talk. And as far as the legislations are concerned, let me assure you very much.
Therefore, you are confirming. Therefore, you are confirming.
We have made the Lokpal into a reality.
Sanjay, you are confirming that there will be no underhand attempt to give Mr. Kalmadi's. There will be no underhand attempt to give Mr. Kalmadi's relative a ticket in his place. There won't be. There won't be.
Let me tell you, the Congress is setting high standards, which is why I started by telling you, Arnab. You have somebody like Nandal Lenekani, and you have Rajiv Gowda.
Mr. Lenekani, are you going to give Mr. Kalmadi's relative a ticket from Pune?
And you know he's a brilliant
Are you going to give Mr. Kalmadi's relative a ticket from Pune?
We are setting high standards here.
I think you're dodging. You avoided answering that question.
But I just want to answer him very quickly.
Next caller from Hyderabad, and our next caller is Gagan from Hyderabad. Avoided the question there, Sanjay. Gagan from Hyderabad.
Gagan,
hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening. Okay, go ahead.
My question is for Mr. Sanjay Jha.
Yeah. Sanjay, you have a question. Please listen. 1 second, Gagan.
Yeah.
Sanjay, you have another question. Please listen.
Sure.
Gagan, quick and sharp. Please go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Because I'm watching Mr. Sanjay Jha's statement since long time. Every time when you and we ask a question of his UPA 1, UPA 2 or last 60 years of the rule, they never respond specifically. They always put a ball to another court. Why can't they reply us on their corruption?
No, so it's Sanjay. Viewer feels you're not being specific.
Specific question now?
No, viewer feels you're not being specific. The same point which I made.
Let me tell you. Let me answer you, sir. In very simple terms, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We have passed legislation that will ensure that corruption will be minimized, if not obliterated altogether, at least where government servants are concerned with the Lokpal. RTI, we have given transparency.
Nirmala Sitharaman puts her hand up. Nirmala, yes.
Make sure that politicians don't enter.
1 minute left. Nirmala's response, one more question. You're not being specific.
And others who want to actually lodge cases of corruption.
Not being specific can be explained by the fact that till today, on Colgate, we've not had one question of the Prime Minister who held it that in a collective responsibility kind of a framework in the cabinet, it is ultimately the minister in charge of a particular ministry who's got to be held responsible, and therefore in 2G Raja went to question.
The case.
Now I want to ask on the Colgate, shouldn't the Prime Minister or the ministry tell us why we are not having any answer? Similarly, wait a minute. Similarly, Arvind Kejriwal till today has not even told the details of the donations to the High Court.
One question to the BJP, Nirmala Sitharaman, caller from Chandigarh for you. There's a caller from Chandigarh for you, and the caller is Surinder is the last caller. 1 second. Surinder ji, good evening. Quickly, go ahead.
My question is to BJP spokesperson.
Yes.
That whenever there is any issue or any question to them about corruption, they try to divert the issue by raising questions on members of our party. Now today she has raised question about Somnath Bharti, but as far as I know, Somnath Bharti has not been held guilty in any of these scams. He hasn't done any corruption. Yet she has posed a question to the representative of AAP. This is just nothing but to divert the issue without any rhyme and reason.
Divert the issue from what?
Divert the issue of.
And Arnab, I would like to tell.
Divert the issue from what? Quickly, 1 second. Let the viewer have his say. Divert. What is she diverting the issue from, Surinder ji, in your view?
Because there is a question to her about the corruption, whether the tickets can be given to the representatives who are involved in scams. So she has tried to divert the issue.
Okay, divert the issue from Yediyurappa, you mean?
Not at all. I've answered the question. Right. Let me assure the caller. After having answered my question, I move to ask Ms. Patkar a question about criminality in politics. And
No,
here we have a law
today-
minister who
today
also
the issue-
ran spam websites. No, if the viewer wants to ask me further, I'm willing to answer. Let him ask me.
No, with the overall tone, Surendra, you know, I'm short of time. But Nirmala Sitharaman, Medha Patkar and Sanjay Jha, the reason I opened up calls is only for one reason. Because this Friday evening, we had a very upsetting, whole week in Parliament. And people are looking at this next election only in terms of whether there'll be some freshness of perspective. I beg to submit here, and I put this question to everyone, that Yediyurappa, Kalmadi, and Pawan Kumar Bansal for that matter, or Chavan, certainly do not represent freshness of perspective. I thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for your viewership on the Newshour so far. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, good night and goodbye. Have a great weekend.